I still remember the exact moment my heart shattered into 1,000 silent pieces, like glass falling in slow motion, too quiet for anyone else to hear. It was Christmas Eve, and my mother had just looked my two little girls, my 11-year-old twins, Elena and Sophia, straight in the eyes and said, "There is no Santa Claus. And even if there were, he'd fly right over this house because your daddy won't help family when it really counts." I was standing just outside the dining room door, holding a tray of roasted vegetables that suddenly felt heavier than the world. The house smelled of pine needles and cinnamon, the same scents that used to mean safety when I was a kid. Now they choked me. My girls didn't cry. They just froze. Elena's small fingers tightened around the sleeve of Sophia's sweater. Sophia stared at the floor like it might open and swallow her whole. And my mother, my own mother, smiled that tight, satisfied smile she saves for when she knows she's won. I am Victor, 38. Single dad half the week, performance marketer the rest of the time. I live in a quiet suburb north of Boston in a rented duplex that always smells faintly of coffee and dryer sheets. My ex-wife, Clara, and I split when the girls were 6. We're good now, friendly drop-offs, shared Google calendars, the kind of co-parenting people compliment us on. But that night, none of that mattered. All that mattered was the poison my mother had just poured into my daughter's hearts. You see, my family has always treated my paycheck like a communal ATM. It started small. A couple hundred for groceries when dad's hours got cut. 1,000 for my brother Julian's overdue rent. $5,000 when their furnace died. I never minded at first. They'd raised me. They'd babysat the girls when Clara and I were drowning in new parent exhaustion. Family helps family, right? It became automatic. $1,500 every month into their account. Another $800 for Julian's car note after he needed. A new Audi Q7 because his growing family deserved something reliable. Reliable. That word still tastes like metal in my mouth. I paid for their roof repair, their cruise, the down payment on Julian's house. I even covered the venue deposit for his vow renewal, while my girls got secondhand skates for Christmas because I just sent an extra $3,000 when Mom called crying about medical bills. And every time I hesitated, Mom would say the same thing. "Julian's struggling. You're doing so well. Don't you want your nieces to have what your girls have?" My girls never had what Julian's kids had. Not even close. Their photos were never on the main mantle, just tucked behind a stack of bills on the fridge. Birthdays were forgotten or kept simple. But Julian's kids? Designer coats, latest gaming consoles, matching Christmas pajamas in every family photo I wasn't invited to. 3 days before Christmas, Mom called. "We found the perfect Q7. If you could just handle the down payment and maybe the first year, it would mean everything." I laughed. Actually laughed because I thought it was a joke. It wasn't. I told her no. Clearly. Firmly. For the first time in years. She went silent. Then, "I just pray your children never grow up thinking money matters more than blood." I should have known she'd make me pay. That Christmas Eve, she waited until the girls were alone with her, closed the door, and weaponized Santa Claus against 2 little girls who still left cookies out just in case. I heard every word. When they walked out, their faces were pale, polite masks. Elena gave me a tiny shrug when I asked if everything was okay. Sophia wouldn't meet my eyes. Julian smirked at me across the eggnog. My father raised a toast to the family members who always step up. Mom handed my girls one shared gift, a $20 art set, while Julian's daughter screamed over new iPads. I smiled, said thank you, helped with dishes, and inside something died. On the drive home, snow drifting soft against the windshield, Elena finally whispered from the back seat, "Daddy, are we bad? Is that why Santa's skipping us?" My hand shook on the wheel. "No, baby. You're perfect." Grandma was wrong. Sophia's voice was barely air. She said it's because you're selfish. I almost pulled over. Instead, I said, "I love you more than anything in this world. That will never change." Silence the rest of the way. That night, after they fell asleep curled against me like they did when they were toddlers afraid of storms, I opened my laptop. There was an email I'd been ignoring for weeks. Subject: Offer accepted confirmation. Welcome to Stockholm. Senior director role. Full relocation package. International school support. Salary that made my pulse race. I'd interviewed for months, Early morning calls, late night case studies. I'd hesitated only because of my parents. Because of the guilt. Because of the endless, what if they need me? I stared at the screen until the words blurred. Then I thought of my mother's voice. He'd fly right over this house. I thought of Julian's smirk. I thought of my girls trying not to cry in front of their grandmother. And I started packing. Not dramatically. Quietly. One suitcase for each of us pulled from the top shelf. I told the girls we might stay home tomorrow, just in case. They packed their favorite things without question. Elena brought her worn stuffed owl. Sophia packed her sketchbook and 3 colored pencils. I didn't tell them yet. That night, I canceled every recurring payment. The mortgage supplement. Julian's car. Their phones on my plan. The streaming accounts. The family emergency savings I alone had funded. $28,000 I moved into an account labeled Future. Girls only. It didn't feel like revenge. It felt like breathing for the first time in a decade. I texted Clara, I'm taking the Sweden job. July start. I'm done funding my parents. We need to talk custody update, but I want the girls with me primary. They need distance. She replied instantly, I've been waiting for you to see it. Whatever you need. They deserve peace. January through June passed in determined quiet. I told no one in my family. The call started in February. Panic, tears, accusations. How could you do this to us? We'll lose the house. Julian had to return the car. You're tearing the family apart over one silly comment. I didn't argue. I just stopped answering. By April, the duplex was half empty. Boxes labeled Stockholm lined the hallway. In May, I sat the girls down. I got a new job, I said. In Sweden. It's beautiful there. Canals, forests, islands. The schools are amazing. We'd have a fresh start. But only if you want it. I won't take you anywhere you don't want to go. They looked at each other. Then Elena asked, will Grandma still be mean? My throat closed. She won't be close enough to be mean anymore. Sophia whispered, can we still believe in magic? I pulled them both into my arms. We'll make our own. They said yes. We flew out July 3rd. 6 months later, New Year's Eve in our bright Stockholm apartment overlooking the water, the girls Googled my name on their new tablets. They found the company announcement. Saw my photo. Read the title. Elena turned to me, eyes wide. Daddy, when were you going to tell us we moved to Sweden? I laughed, actually laughed, for the first time in years. I thought you deserved to find out on your own terms. Sophia grinned. Best surprise ever. We watched fireworks over the archipelago that night. No guilt, no demands, just us. Sometimes healing doesn't look like forgiveness. Sometimes it looks like an ocean between you and the people who taught you love has a price tag. Sometimes it looks like 2 little girls laughing under northern lights, finally believing magic might be real after all. If this were you, if someone used your own children to punish you for saying no, would you have stayed? Would you forgive? Or would you pack the bags and build a new world where your kids never have to doubt their worth every star in the sky? Tell me in the comments. I am listening. Thanks for watching. Keep supporting. Do subscribe for more stories.